Greetings. I am the Semitic language. Let me tell you my story and my surprising details. I will draw on the cultural heritage of those who carried me. According to that, Noah is the second father of humanity after Adam. Religious texts may differ in some details, but you can easily catch the common thread among them. In the time of the prophet Noah, he built a great ship by God's command. He hosted in it the believers and pairs of animals, so that animal life would not go extinct as well. Then came the great flood, and all creatures outside the ark drowned, including Noah's fourth son, who refused to believe. After the flood ended, humanity spread across the earth once again. This is the reason Noah is considered a second father of mankind, because at that time, all humanity was gathered in one place, and then they spread again. Now, Noah had 3 believing sons with him on the ark: Shem, father of the eastern peoples; Japheth, father of the fair-skinned races; Ham, father of the dark-skinned people. Of course, since the time of the flood, some of the brave ones from the sons of Ham and Shem crossed the Atlantic Ocean. This is evident according to the features of the Native Americans. It is not impossible for those skilled in the ancient art of stargazing, who could navigate by the North Star and the heavens above, using the stars on it as a natural compass. Then, later, some sons of Japheth followed, the Vikings, then Columbus. Now, the Semitic language, I, is the language spoken by the sons of Shem, son of Noah. It seems that I am indebted to religion. Repeatedly, it has been the reason for preserving language and developing script in writing tools, especially when we are talking about an ancient language. We saw a glimpse of this in the episode of my amazing colleague, the Chinese language, and there are still many similar scenarios. I had many sons. I loved them all, but I also missed them because most of them passed away. Yet, I still have 3 shining daughters alive and well: Hebrew, Syriac, Arabic. And as you can see, each one of these daughters has in her history a religion and a scripture. Moses spoke Hebrew, Jesus spoke Aramaic, Syriac, and Muhammad spoke Arabic. In truth, I often feel nostalgic for one of my daughters who passed away, but who was truly devoted, the Phoenician language. Even though this language died, and her loss saddens me, she left her mark not only on her Semitic sisters, but on many other languages from different families. My daughter, the Phoenician language, was active, intelligent, and lively. She even managed to obtain a brilliant invention when she succeeded in classifying sounds into the letters of the alphabet. Some prefer to say she borrowed the idea from earlier languages and developed the alphabet from it. Others say she devised it herself. But either way, I am still proud of her because her name was recorded in history as a turning point in the science of languages. And to be more precise with you, please listen with me to this. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Waw, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kav, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Sade, Ayin, Pe, Daled, Gov, Rej, Shin, Tav. These are the Phoenician letters. Notice the 2 parts, Abajada, Ka, La, Ma, Na. Have you ever wondered about the secret of the order of those 4 letters, K, L, M, N, in the alphabet? Yes, it's tiny earrings from the Phoenicians' treasure box. Because the Latin alphabet took the letters ready-made from Greek, which was the symbol of knowledge in the ancient world, and the Greek letters are essentially a version of the Phoenician letters with the addition of vowels. And now we've just arrived at my favorite part of the Living Language Museum. Let's start with the letters Aleph, Alap, Aleph,
Bet, Bet,
Ba,
Gimel,
Gamal, Jin,
Dalet,
Dalat, Dal, and so on until the end of the alphabet. I've also picked a few words in my little basket to show you, but I must apologize for not reading them aloud. I truly couldn't after several painful attempts. So I just added a phonetic reading beneath each word. Do you see them? I love noticing the similarities among my daughters. It makes me feel connected to myself too.
אבינו שבשמיים, יתקדש שמך.
Avun devashmeya nekadash shemach.
أبانا الذي في السماوات ليتقدس اسمك.
I think of Hebrew as my sleeping princess. For 1,000 years she lay still, frozen in silence. Because of the diaspora, the Jews were scattered across Europe, Asia, and Africa. What happened then? They adopted the languages of the people around them as their spoken tongue. My daughter felt alone. She drifted into slumber. Her breath faint, her voice almost gone. She almost froze completely. For 1,800 years, yes, 1,800 years of disuse, she was considered dead. But then Eliezer ben Yehuda looked closely and saw that her eyes were merely closed. She was still breathing, her gown and jewels untouched by time. And again, it was faith that kept her safe. For though people no longer spoke her name in daily life, they whispered it in prayer, recited it in scripture. Her beauty, her grammar, her very sounds were preserved in the sanctuaries of devotion. This is why all her jewelry, rules, and sounds survived, intact despite 1,800 years of silence, a unique adventure in the history of languages that takes the breath away. All she needed now was for someone to brush away the frost, to awaken her, and when she rose again, she would shine, radiant and full of the joy she once knew. It was not an easy task. Eliezer ben Yehuda insisted that his family, as a first step, speak only Hebrew at home. But she barely responded at first. It is said that once he asked his wife to make some tea, pointing to the teapot and the tea, and said, "Take this and make this." This difficult endeavor was not without its humorous moments. His son, a child at the time, sometimes invented words to avoid punishment or described things in funny and strange ways, like car, ratz chayot, literally running of the animals, and the telephone, davar kol, meaning voice, speech, which sparked waves of laughter and amusement. But after 50 years of dedication, nourishing my daughter with a syrup full of vitamins and the modern words she had lacked, her bright eyes finally opened. She smiled, looked healthy, and became the language of education and daily life among the Jews. 1 AD, the era of Jesus. His mother tongue? Aramaic, naturally. But then the Greeks arrived in the region, and bless their hearts, they didn't really know how to tell the Aramaeans from the Assyrians. Honestly, who could blame them? They were all my heirs in spirit. Makes sense, right? So they called them Assyrians, and somewhere along the way, to make the word roll off the tongue more easily, the A at the beginning got dropped. And voila, Syrians. And thus Syria, land of the Syrians, was born. But don't be fooled. The Syrians weren't just a place, they were a people, the original speakers of Aramaic, carrying their tongue like a secret jewel through time. Here's where things become fascinating, because languages, like people, drift apart when the winds of history push them in different directions. The ancient Aramaic, graceful, intertwined with scripture, with songs, with prayers, did not remain one. Just as a living cell divides into two beautiful twins, Syriac split into Eastern Lishana Soriya and Western Lishano Soriyaho, continuing to grow and take shape with perfect spontaneity. Both carried the same ancient heart, yet each moved to her own rhythm. In the west, near Antioch and the Mediterranean coast, pronunciation softened. Where my older self might have said Beth for house, Western Syriac whispered Beth, stretching the vowel like it was savoring the sun setting over the hills. Days of the week shifted subtly too. Sunday became Yom Rucha, Monday, Tanya, Tuesday, Talata. Melodies tucked into each syllable like tiny prayers. Even numbers like to dress differently. Had for one, Dana for two. More lyrical, more singable, almost like poetry in everyday speech. Meanwhile, the Eastern Syriac had wandered east into Mesopotamia and beyond. It liked its consonants bold and sharp. Beth remained Beth, firm and unyielding, like a stone in the river. Vowels were clipped, precise. Monday was Thanya, Tuesday, Telatha, but the rhythm felt sturdier, more deliberate. Endings of words would tilt slightly. The Western O became Eastern A, softening or hardening depending on the local wind. Even some common verbs like to go shifted forms. Western Syriac said ale, Eastern Syriac held fast to Allah, each one carrying a history of the lands it had touched. Letters themselves developed personalities. The Western R could roll lazily across the tongue like a cat stretching in the sun. Eastern R snapped sharply as if to announce itself in a bustling marketplace. The same letter, two moods, two stories. And yes, even the alphabet sometimes flirted with minor changes. Western scribes would slightly curve a character for beauty, while Eastern scribes kept them upright, ready for battle with ink and paper. And so, from a single Aramaic heartbeat, two streams emerged, different yet intimate, separate yet forever whispering to each other through texts, liturgy, and the occasional scholar brave enough to read both. My third daughter, Arabic, her authenticity is unlike any other in the history of languages. I am truly proud of her. She is the oldest language still living in her original form, used vividly to this very day. That means ancient Arabic text can be read and understood effortlessly by modern Arabs, because the language has remained itself, untouched by time, authentic, graceful, precise, self-sustaining, and uncomplicated. One of the two languages scholars once called the complete or perfect language, alongside Sanskrit. Yet Arabic never needed human intervention. She never required refinement, addition, or abbreviation. She was complete before grammar was ever written down. The grammarian's rules were descriptive, not prescriptive. In fact, this unique purity did not appear out of nowhere. Once again, the reason was faith. In a culture defined by divine laws, every new revelation had to come with a miracle to prove its truth. And guess what? Each miracle came from the very field in which its people excelled. The people of Moses were skilled in magic, so their sign was a staff that turned into a mighty serpent and devoured the magician's tricks. The people of Jesus were advanced in medicine, so their sign was healing and the restoration of life itself. And as for the people of Muhammad, their art was language. They held poetic contests in the market of Ukaz, judged by masters of eloquence. So the miracle sent to them was none other than their own sacred book, its very language and rhetoric, so sublime that even those literary judges stood in awe of its precision and artistry. Once that miracle was confirmed, believers set out on a unique scholarly mission. They traveled for years into the deep deserts, where the Bedouins' Arabic had remained untouched by foreign influence, listening carefully to their speech and recording it. From this work arose the first dictionaries. Their goal was to preserve the faith, but without realizing it, they also gave Arabic a luxurious retreat, ensuring her purity and immortality. Over time, Hebrew and Syriac shed the cloak of grammatical inflection in their modern forms, but Arabic kept hers, and it still fits her perfectly, as though newly tailored. The most astonishing thing about Arabic is her artistic genius paired with mathematical precision. You can write in Arabic with the highest poetic flourish and still express a scientific concept with perfect accuracy. Even more remarkable, She does this without complexity, with effortless clarity and flow. It's like walking, a simple exercise, yet full of vitality and benefit. That's Arabic, elegant, flexible, precise. Her alphabet has no redundant or confusingly similar letters. It moves naturally across all points of articulation, from the deepest throat sounds to the lips and nose. She is like that intelligent girl who picks one flower from every garden, ending up with a balanced bouquet, uncomplicated yet complete in variety. You can see this balanced beauty in her writing system too. Arabic, surprisingly, already fulfills the global dream of a scientifically perfect orthography, a script where each sound corresponds to exactly one letter. And yet, despite her brilliance, precision, and discipline, my daughter never denied herself the pleasure of art. Not only in meaning and etymology, but even in the grace of her script, which fluidity allows the written line to perform the wildest ballet moves until it becomes pure visual art. For this very reason, her high adaptability and aesthetic generosity, the Chinese Muslims once created their own calligraphy from her form, Arabic words that any Arab could still read, yet shaped in the spirit of Chinese artistry. Truly, she is a language that can think like a scholar and dance like an artist. And now, at the end of this journey, I, the ancient Semitic tongue, speak in whispers across the ages. No one can hear my voice as it once was. No monument or inscription can truly capture me. I am buried deep in time, in the family of Sam and his family, from the dawn of history. Yet my heart overflows with gratitude to my beautiful daughters, Arabic, Syriac, Hebrew, and all my kin. You carry traces of me in your words, melodies of my soul in your speech. Through you, I hear the echoes of my own voice. Even though I cannot stand among you in form, your songs and words reach me like a tender gift that tells me, "Do not worry, Mother. You are still with us, and your spirit lives in us." And so, I am comforted. Through you, my voice sings again. Through you, my hidden essence is celebrated and alive.